Parshas Eikev, Tafshin Pei Dalet. We're going to speak about the side of Bרכת המזון, and we're going to go directly into the psukim, as this is the only tzivui, this is the only order we have in the whole Torah about benching, about saying your bracha. All the other brachas are not mentioned in the Torah. That's the only one. So there must be something special about this bracha. Okay, the pasuk starts here. Eretz chitos oira, so it's describing the plentiful of Eretz Yisrael. It's going to have wheat, barley, grapes, figs, pomegranates. Eretz shemen und dvash. It's going to have olives and dates. It's going to be plentiful. They're growing naturally in Eretz Yisrael. Then the pasuk goes, Eretz, a land, asher loi b'miskenus toichal ba lechem. You're not gonna have difficulty. It's not gonna be difficult to get bread. You're gonna eat it very easy. Two remarks here. Why did the pasuk forget the vav in miskenus? Second one, if Eretz Yisrael has been blessed with chita and se'ora in plentiful, why are you coming to teach me in that pasuk, Loi b'miskenus toichal ba'alechem? It's evident, because there's plenty of chita, plenty of se'ora. Even the poorest of the poor will be able to afford bread because there's a lot of it. Then the pasuk will double that. Loi sechsar koil ba. If you had, you're not going to lack of anything. All right. So anything includes bread. So you could have said Loi sechsar koil ba and save me Eretz asher loi b'miskenus toichal ba lechem. Most of the pasuk could have been saved. So what are you coming to teach me? What are you coming to add by saying Loi sechsar koil ba? Pasuk keeps on going. For the fourth time, Eretz asher avaneha barzel, its stones are barzel. They're made out of barzel, metal, which is not true. If you see the mountains of Israel, they're all it's a limestone. It's a stone that in 1,000 years, it'll turn into marble. But it's a limestone. So where is the barzel in Israel? Umeharareya, and from its mountain, tachtzeiv nechoshes, you're going to have copper? Copper in Israel? No, limestones, yes. Even Yerushalayim. Every almost mountains there is made out of a rock, but not nefeshes and not barzel. And if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to bless Eretz Yisrael, should bless them with, I don't know, silver, gold, gemstones. Why barzel nefeshes? We're not going to have time to get there, but just want to point it out to you. Then comes the magical pasuk. Ve'ochalto, you will eat. Uvesavato, you'll be satisfied. Uverachta, and then you're going to bench. Es Hashem Eloikecha, Kadosh Baruch Hu, your God, ala aretz ha'tova, on the good land that He gave you. Here, ve'ochalto is not enough to trigger the bracha. You need vesavata. You need to be satisfied, to be full, in order to be chayiv. That's the type simply of the pasuk. We'll go deeper in the shir. But it seems that what triggers the bracha is the fact that you ate, and then that you are satisfied, then you mechuyev to bench. I have a question. In Azinu, I think I brought the pasuk here. Yeah. Vayishman Yeshurun Vayivat. Yeshurun became fatter, and then he kicked the can. That's it. I feel good. I feel it's me. I don't owe anything. I don't go to shul chas v'shalom anymore. I don't say brachas. You feel that you're secured. You don't need anything. Pasuk says a bit further down also, V'zachato es Hashem Elokecha during this hard time, Ki hu anoisen lecha koyach la'asos chayil, because he's giving you the strength in order to be successful. Why Kadosh Baruch Hu testing the Bnei Yisrael? And we're gonna see. Just the opposite in a pasuk, just two psukim further. Pen toichal vesavata. Oh, watch out when you eat. Don't be satisfied. Uvatim toivim. Again, we forgot the vav here. And you're gonna build nice houses. So we have a clear stira, and even philosophically, it doesn't make sense to require the person to eat and be satisfied in order to be chayiv because hamazon, because there is a danger when you're fully satisfied. Pen toichal vesavata. So you can't do that. It's very mind-boggling that Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to hand out the ashirus to the Bnei Yisrael, knowing that the ashirus is the biggest nisayon there is. And then he's going to hand it out to them, and then warn them. You're going to have plenty flour, you're going to have gold and silver, and all your possession, you're going to be very wealthy. Then your heart will get haughty. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew that would happen. So why did he do it? Why did he give us an Eretz Yisrael that's like this? How can we be safe in an environment like this? Because Kadosh Baruch Hu tells us that when a person has too many possessions, automatically he becomes haughty. Maybe he should have not given us this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew the future. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew that this would take us down. So why giving it to us? The Gemara in Brachos, Memtes Amud Beis, says there's a machlokes there between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. How do we learn the pasuk? Ve'ochalta ve'savata uverachta. Now we're going to focus, zero in that pasuk, because there's huge soides in that pasuk. As we haven't said enough about the shulchan and the bracha that he brings on Erev Shabbos, the Sudas and everything, but here there's even more that we're going to uncover on the way a person eats. Rabbi Meir says ve'ochalta means food, bread. Ve'savalta means drinking. From here, Rabbi Meir learned that you have a chiyuv because hamazon only if you ate and drunk. Then it's the chiyuv d'oraisa. It's brought down also in Shulchan Aruch. That's one of Yesh Omrim that holds like this. Rabbi Yehuda says no. the pasuk doesn't talk about drinking here. As soon as you eat and you're satisfied, you're mechuyev to bench bרכת המזון דאורייתא. ואוכלת ושבעת means that's a meal that's enough to satisfy you. At that point, you have to be a bracha d'oraisa. And the Rashba brings down in his Chidushim on the Gemara there that Rabbi Meir holds achila, that's why achila is a kazais. We know from the Hilchas Tainis, a kazais will not satisfy you, but will calm the person, will calm the anguish like you have in Tainis not to eat or whatever. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's a kabetza. Kabetza, it's enough to have for a person. That's why he says the shir achila is kabetza. The question here is, why did the Torah omit to mention the bracha before the meal? What's so important that in Birkas Hamazon that you only mention it, you don't try to dilute it with another chiyuv of bracha, but indeed, when you're going to bench on the bread, you're going to say, how much is the arrogance? Why is it not mentioned? If you're talking about the Suda and you want to talk about the bracha, ve'ochalta, ve'savalta, okay, tell me also that you have to bench first. The Gemara in Brachas learns that there's an asmachta in the psukim that Shmuel says, I'm going to go very quick on this because this is not our share, but I just want to explain the inyan of brachas, and I'm going to go pretty deep into this one. That it says on one hand, Lashem haaretz umloya. The land belongs to HaKadosh Baruch. Nothing is ours. And on the other hand, he says, Hashamayim shamayim Lashem. Hashem owns the skies. And the land, he gave it to people. So he asked, this is a contradiction. On one hand, he says, Lashem haaretz umloya, the land and everything in it belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On the other hand, it says that the land, he gave it to people. Explain Shmuel, before a bracha, the land belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. After the bracha, you have a right, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives it to you. That's where we learn the chiyuv of first bracha. From that pasuk, there we learn it. So we don't need to repeat it a second time because we learn it from there. And then over there, it says only, we're talking only about bracha rishon. You know, we're not talking about bracha achroina. And here in the Torah, in our parsha, we're talking about bracha. Okay, I can be satisfied with it. And we're going to come back to that nekuda, that the land belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and everything in it. And if a person eats without a bracha, he's a thief. Because he stole from the kings of kings. But as soon as he made the bracha, he's eating, he is allowed by the kings of kings to eat his food. I grew the food, it's mine. No, it's not yours. We're going to see how the shefa comes in order to provide the land the strength to bring out food for man and food for animals. It's not so pashut. We think we're putting grains in the ground and the grains are growing. There's a whole mechanism how this works. We see the outcome, we call it nature. But nature is only the last stop. We only see the face we see. But behind the nature is like you see a huge machine, a car. You don't see the engine and how many parts have to be involved in order to make the wheel turn and for the car to advance. Now, I'm going on my car, turn the key, the car goes. That's a behemoth that thinks like this. Everyone knows there's an engine. Everyone knows a plane flies because of its engines. It's a whole chokhmah. Also in growing foods, there's the whole chokhmah. The Zohar rules brings the drasha, it's Midrash Rus at the point. We call it Midrash Rus, but it's Zohar Chadash. It's in the Zohar Chadash. He brings down that Rav Nechemia has a drasha on the pasuk we mentioned, Ve'ochalta ve'savato ve'rachta es Hashem Elokecha. You're gonna bench to HaKadosh Baruch Hu ala aretz ha'toiva asher nasan lach, on the good land that He gave you. Says Rav Nechemia, Ve'ochalta ve'savato. Anyone who eats without a bracha, he is a gazlan and he is a mashchis. He's a destroyer. As says in the pasuk, I'm going to show it to you because we're going to also speak about this pasuk quite a bit. Goizel avi ve'imoy, pasuk in Mishlei, that he steals his father and his mother. His father being HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his mother being Knesset Yisrael, because she is the mother. The neshamas of Bnei Yisrael are coming from there, so she's considered the mother. Ve'omer and Pesha, and he says, you know what? I didn't do anything wrong. Can still say, eat like a behemoth without making a bracha, without thinking HaKadosh Baruch Hu and seeing his actions, nothing wrong. Who? That person is a friend. Le'ish mashlis. To someone who is a mashlis, a destroyer. We'll see a different touch later in this. When you see chaver hu le'ish mashlis, means he befriends someone who's called a mashlis, but he is not a mashlis. That's what Shlomo HaMelech says to us. So how can Rav Nechemia call him Gazlan mashlis? The very pasuk that he brings as a raya shows us that he is not a mashlis. So how do you call someone? Does he call someone that eats without making a bracha a Gazlan mashlis? A pele. He twisted the words of the pasuk and he brings a pasuk that says the opposite of what he wants to say. Ends the drasha there in the Zohar. The Omar Rabbi Yudai says the koyach of Birkas Hamazon is tremendous because it enables the upper worlds and gives them power, give them strength. Hanina comes back and makes a drasha also on Birkas Hamazon, and he says Birkas Hamazon is great because it brings bracha on the Maseh Yadayim of a person. Purposely, I want to call it Maseh Yadav of a person. Why? We'll see a bit later. It means whatever the person touch, the bracha of his Birkas Hamazon is going to go on it. On one hand, I don't understand Rab Chanina. On the other hand, someone who benches, everything is going to touch is blessed. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's a different approach. Birkas Hamazon gives strength to the upper world. We have to see, okay, the upper world, does it help me? What is he doing for me? Gemara says, the Zohar says in Akev, on that pasuk, ve'ochalta ve'savata u'berachta es Hashem Elokecha. This is a chiyuv, this is a mitzvah. Start the Zohar to bench b'kas hamazon on what a person eats and drinks. And mostly in general, bracha achroina. Because whenever a person has a hana, has a benefit from this world, he has to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if he doesn't do so, he's a gazlan to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's a thief. And the punishment of a thief, we know it. But this is not a simple thief. He doesn't only steal his king, the kings of kings. What would happen if someone would steal the king, just a human king, and would get caught? It wouldn't be the little slap that he would get in court for stealing his friend, right? Most probably he will pay it with his life. When we talk about the kings of kings, all shekel. The Zohar says, why is it so stringent to bench after a meal? Why did the Torah have to specifically mention this in our parasha? And that's the only bracha that's going to be mentioned. Why? What's in it in that very special bracha? Says the Zohar HaKadosh, because this bracha has the power to draw life from the Eitz HaChaim. We're going to explain everything. You will understand every cleavage as if you were a mechanic of Birkas Hamazon. You will understand. At this point, the Zohar only gives us a generality that he is drawing life from the source, which is the Eitz HaChaim, and he brings the upper oil, the shemen, and draws it down all the way to the whole entire world. Shemen is a bracha. In other words, the person who says thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for what he eats is that's not only a thank you type of mitzvah. He does tremendous thing on top. He draws life, and he draws shemen, bracha. And this goes to the whole entire world. In other words, the better your Birkas Hamazon is, the more chesed you do. Some people are looking for chesed here, this organization. The true chesed to people and giving them life and bracha is Birkas Hamazon. That's how we touch this Zohar. Now, with what we've learned in Pasha Shmini, we can understand a bit deeper the words of this Zohar. That we learned that from the Ari HaKadosh, it's actually in the time of mitzvahs on this Pasha, Pasha's Akev, he wrote that. We touched it up in Pasha Shmini us about the behema. From what we know, that in every food that comes on the table of a Jew, it's not by chance. It's not fate. It's nothing but HaKadosh Baruch Hu that has put this food in front of us, because he wants us to bench on the food, as there are nitzoitzos inside that food, that the time for release has arrived, and bring them up. So when the person prevents this from happening, he does two bad things. Okay. The first one, he doesn't bring up the nitzoitzos to their place. Remember, Knesset Yisrael is made with all the neshamas of the Bnei Yisrael. When one neshama is punished and it's out of this world, Knesset Yisrael, the Shekhinah, is missing a part. When you return to the Shekhinah, that part, you're completing the Shekhinah. In other words, the bracha has an effect of completing and as a tikkun of the Shekhinah. So the person who has not elevated those nitzoitzos is a thief. That's understandable. He stole his mother, his father, he stole the Shekhinah. Why? Because he didn't return the nitzoitzos. He had that in front of him, and not returning it's like he stole it from the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah feels that there is something left, something in her that, incomplete. And feels it very, it's painful for the Shekhinah. The second bad thing that he inflicts on the nitzoitzos, he leaves them by inside the klippos. They were hoping that this Jew on this table would make a bracha and free them from the klippa. However, this guy ate without making a bracha rishona. I forgot, he left his table, he didn't make a bracha achrona. On everything this. It could be on an apple and it's burning nefashis, it could be on a piece of mezonis and it's bracha achrona. All these brachas, Chazal did them in order to elevate the nitzoitzos that would be in that type of food. That's why sometimes we have different bracha achrona. That's why on Bere Priyais, we don't say shehakol on everything. Because Bere Priyais, in this bracha, it has special soidas to elevate the nitzoitzos that are found on the fruits of the tree. And those, the vegetables and anything growing from the ground, we say Ber Priya Adama, because this is the spell that will elevate any neshama that fell in that type of klippos, which are from the ground. So now we see the words of Rabbi Hanina, because he has not elevated and left the nitzoitzos inside the klippa, he's a mashchis. He's a mashchis. There was something good supposed to be elevated. There's something good in here. Instead of taking it up, what he did, destroyed it. What would you say if someone would take beautiful case of Kiddush, silver he received for his wedding and everything, has all the shemus inside. He takes a hammer and bang it like this. He's a mashkis. He's a destroyer. We start understanding the word of Bechanina. On the other hand, we had a pasuk said only chaver leish mashkis. He's only a friend of it, but not a mashkis per se. The Zohar didn't say mashkis, said gazlan to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we have to understand the drasha of Rabbi Hanina. Let's jump a second. Here, you guys are pretty familiar with these, so I'm not going to spend time much on this. But if we take the Ralab, which is Ab, Sag, Ma, Ben, which is, all these Yud Ke Vav Ke in full, when you add them up, that's the Ab, Sag, Ma, Ben. You know that. This equals to 232. That's the Baruch. When we say Baruch equals 228, says the Ariyah Kodesh in Priyetz Chaim in the Matbea Brachas, it's 232, 228, plus the 4 letters, it's 232. So when you're benching a bracha, you bring from the Ralab, the Shefa from the Ralab. Now, if we take here from the Bina, Kasa, so we make it 4 times also, like in the brachas of Yom Kippur. That the kavanas on the Shmones Esrei of Yom Kippur. Kasa, Kamag, Kana equals 616. That's when we say Baruch Atah. In Atah, that's the kavana we have. So now you have 232 plus 616. So when a person says a bracha, you have a number coming up here between these two, it's 848 together. Equal Ois Emes. Like Rachav said to Caleb and Pinchas when they came to spy on Yericho, Venosatim li Ois Emes. When we say Ois Emes, a person can't lie anymore. This is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ois Emes. Don't know what's going on here today on this connection. So when someone doesn't say a bracha, he is, we said, Rabbi Hanina, he is a Gazlan and he is a Mashchis. Exact. What Rabbi Hanina tells us, he hints us what. So all these shefa that was supposed to come to the world, as the Zohar said, the bracha goes all the way up to the Mekor HaChaim and to the Shemen, Ha'elyon, and bring it down to the world, to all the Knesset Yisrael. That was the chesed. And this person, for such a simple thing, he doesn't do it. He is a Gazlan and he is a Mashchis. Unbelievable. Exactly the words of Rabbi Hanina. To explain that simply, I'm going to take the words of Rabbeinu Bachye, who explains our Pshat and says the following. That there are 2 things. David HaMelech says many times, again, Torah is mentioned once. bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu by entailing there's plenty of time. Why? Because there's a chiyuv before you were nehene in from this world to take permission from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What the kavana in al pipshat of the bracha? This is a testimony that of the ashgacha, of the presence of acknowledging that everything is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When I say Baruch Atah Hashem Bore Pri Ha'etz, I acknowledge and I testify that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that grew that fruit. I planted a tree. You can plant many trees. They can dry, they can dig. This one got a fruit. And this is an acknowledgement of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Ashgacha. Not saying a bracha chas v'shalom becomes a gazlan on the Ashgacha to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So now it's got to separate and explain us where every term goes. Gazlan is towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Not that he stole the fruit. He stole the recognition. He stole the Hashgacha. He stole the testimony that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is omnipresent and he is everything. The world, the growing, everything is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when he steals it, it's not enough that, he lacks the recognition, but he's going to believe now that, that's nature. The mazal, the teva, which is the mazalos. This is tremendous. This is Avodah Zarah. In other words, the foundation of a Jew is to say a bracha before he eats and a bracha after he eats. No, I'm a good guy. I just don't bet. I don't go daven. I don't do that, but I believe in God. You believe in mazalos. That's what Rabbinic tells us. Now, the mashchi side of it is towards Knesset Yisrael. Because the more neshamis go back to Knesset Yisrael, the more shefa, the more power it has to fight the other side. When the person prevents a nitzoitzos, neshamis that are in the food to go back up to their place, he removes power from Knesset Yisrael, which is our Shemira, which is guarding the Bnei Yisrael, defending the Bnei Yisrael, and defending itself versus the Sitra Achra. And when the person doesn't say a bracha, or which is not a bracha, it's exactly the same. You have to know that if the words are not coming out of the mouth, it's not a bracha. You have to say it again. It's not necessarily without even articulating the words. That's not a bracha. And so the mashchis goes towards the Knesset Yisrael, because you're basically affecting all the Jews. With you lacking a bracha, or you making a bracha which is not a bracha, you were not mile the nitzoitzos and the neshamis that are in the food, and automatically you are affecting all the Bnei Yisrael. You see that. Why is in Parshas Ekev this? We talk about Ekev, the mitzvahs that we are trampling with the feet. Simple thing that comes to us daily, so many times, making a bracha, and a person has to stop and be careful. The Zohar Kodesh, here in Parshas Ekev, has a long arichus on the inyan of brachas. He explains that when a bracha is uttered by a Jew, the words are going up. Because these words are holy words. They can't stay in this world. And as they go up, whichever level they pass by, that space or that place is blessed. To the point that all the olamis of the bracha goes all the way up. All the way, for you that know that come Shabbos, all the way to Arichanti, to the Kesef. Doesn't stop in the middle. It goes all the way to the Kesef. And every time you make Nachas Ruach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you send something up, there's always something coming down in return. And then all the Ilamas, all the Malachim are getting their food. In other words, the upper worlds are static. The engine is down in this world. And when a person is actively and intently saying a bracha, Malachim are receiving their food. All the 10 spirits are receiving their food. The Goyim are receiving their food. The whole entire world of behemoths. What do you think, Malachim? It's not like in this world, you give me something, I don't say thank you. That's only in this world. In the upper world, they never take nothing for granted and nothing for nothing. They will do something. Now, you're someone on a daily basis who cares about his prophets, who cares when he says Baruch Atah Hashem, the name of Hashem, especially when the name of Hashem comes. If I have time, I will speak about this. But and the Malachi Argamon, the four Malachim that supports the Shechina are part of these Malachim that receive. There's some Malachim that don't need us, but these Malachim requires, meaning Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael. They require the bracha. Like when Avraham Avinu told them, "Ve'etcha paslechem," I will take a bread, "Ve'sa'adu libchem," and you will be satisfied. I'm sorry, what? Abraham, you will eat and they will be satisfied? How is it working? Yes, because Abraham Avinu will be chayav birkas hamazon when he eats this. And because of Abraham Avinu saying birkas hamazon bekavana, automatically these malachim, which were then Gabriel, Raphael, and Michael, they were the three that came. They're the three that support the Merkava. It's just missing Uriah. But these three get them as their food only through the Birkas Hamazon of the Bnei Yisrael. And that's why Abraham Avinu says in the pasuk, "Ve'ekcha paslechem," I will take the bread, I will eat it, and you will be satisfied. Because through my Birkas Hamazon, you will receive your mezonos. You're going to tell me, after all this, it's great. I'm doing chesed. What about me? You know, I know I'm going to be included, but is it fair that I'm going to have the same portion like anyone else of the bracha? I'm making the bracha. I'm taking my time. I'm making the effort. I'm fighting my Yetzer Hara to say it correctly. Says the Zohar HaKadosh. A bit further down, always in Pashut. Says the Zohar HaKadosh, it does have a benefit. Because, first of all, the bracha is going to come through him out to the others. And he will be blessed first. He will get the lion's share. And not only that, that even what the animals, what the other Yidden are going to eat, it's considered that he gave it to them. Now, let's just analyze these words of the Zohar. This person did a mitzvah, said the bracha correctly toward HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, mitzvah gereres mitzvah. Which mitzvah? We never understand, oh, he's going to make another one. He gets tzedakah, he's going to make another mitzvah. Oh, no. Mitzvah gereres mitzvah is that mitzvah that you've done will generate itself a huge other mitzvah. That's the touch in mitzvah gereres mitzvah. Like we see here, the guy said his bracha, the bracha is going up, opening all the mazala ilah, and the mazala ilah, which is arichanpin, which is the Yud Gimel Midas Derachmim. And from the Yud Gimel Midas Derachmim come all shefa to bracha to down to the world. And it's going back to the person who did the bracha. The whole benefit, everything he's getting is coming down to him. And from him, it's going to others. He's going to feed millions of people with his bracha. Can you believe that, Chesed? That's mitzvah gereres. And that's why he says, the Zohar says in the pasuk, in every place that I will mention my name, the Zohar touches that my name will be mentioned. It's the haftacha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives to the Bnei Yisrael. I will come and bless you. Which blessing? That the whole entire bracha from the Yud Gimel Midas Derachmim is going to come to you, and you will have the schus of a huge chesed shelemes, because you don't even know who you feed. Chesed shelemes. You will provide. Can you believe how many sick people are going to be saved from the misery because of your bracha? How many people were supposed to go because they had no moschusim and everything? And because you drew life from up there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives them another chance to make tshuva. You give them life. Those mitzvahs they're going to do are going to be added to you. You have a portion in everything. That's why you are part of the creation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says you are a shutef to my separations. Because here now we understand how the system is working, that you're really recreating the world. Now we saw the bracha going up. We understand what the bracha, the shefa, and the bracha it brings down. However, now let's get into the details of it. When the bracha goes up, said correctly, there is no one gate in Shamayim that remains closed. All the 50 gates of the Malchus, all the 50 gates of the Bina, and whatever other gates of other Hecholos, they all open up. He makes tremendous rush in Shamayim when a bracha goes up. And the voice comes, the Baskoil says in Shamayim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is heard in all the Rekim, all the firmament. There are 7 of them, and in all of them, this voice is heard. Olam haba atachton, olam haba ha'elyon. This is the bracha that sent you so and so. And this is a present that's complete. Meaning the bracha was done with the proper kavanas. The bracha was done with the proper pronunciation. You didn't say Baruch atah Adonai. That's not the Shem Hashem. Aleph Dalet Shva on the Dalet. No, that's not the Shem Hashem. You're not even Yotze with the bracha like this. It has to be said properly. Though the most complete bracha, says the Zohar, is if you say it and you have someone says Amen. That's a complete bracha that makes Rash in Shemayim and that draws the most shefa. It doesn't mean that you have to say the bracha also the way you want and just have an Amen and think you Yotze because of the Amen. No, the bracha is the Ika. It becomes it's enhanced, its power is enhanced when there is an Amen. But we should make the Amen Ikar and the bracha Tafel. That's not what we learn. With that in mind, let's go back to our table. Person sits, we learn about the side of the Shulchan. Just going to review a couple of things to go understand Bרכת המזון and what is the side of Bרכת המזון. When a person we know behaves correctly on his table, says Torah, puts tzedakah, handle himself as a mensch, we know that the Shulchan, the Malachim, 3 Malachim come, take the Shulchan before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and say, Zei HaShulchan Asher Lifnei Hashem. This is the Shulchan that's before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is proud of such a Shulchan. That's the Shulchan of Hashem. However, when the person is not, Tzleitzanus Chaz v'Shalom on the table, brachas are said or not said, that Shulchan, we spoke about the Pele Yoetz Pishem the Raive, that you always have the Nachash on the Shulchan. That's why in the word Shulchan, you have the word Nachash. The Lamed is the Malchus because Malchus Niknes, it's in Avos Vav, Avos Perek Vav Mishnah Vav. B'shloshim miles, 30 miles is the Malchus. So the Lamed always represents the Malchus. For you who know, if you take Yud, Hey of the Shem Ben, add me this together, equals 30. This is where the Malchus is. The midas of the Malchus. So we have this. So if I take on Shulchan, I take off the Lamed, you have Nachash. And that's what the Pasuk says here. Ki kol Shulchanas. That's the Pasuk in Yeshaya. All the tables, Mol'u ki Tsoya, they have the full, they're filled with vomit and excrement. Believe Mokim. There's no empty space. Ki Tsoya says the Zohar, this is the Psalm, this is the other one. He's the Shifcha, the Eshes Zenuni, the lily. We're going to see that really the Pasuk is playing here with explain us equals 111 equals out. The Yichud. The person, instead of behaving on his table and making a full Yichud, Kutsha Berichu, Torah and Israel, and reach the Keser, he went to make a Yichud in the Sitra. When a person, it's no big deal, we're on a table, we're in a restaurant, or we allow ourselves, it's only among friends, it's no, a table, get out of a table. On a table, you have to behave. We know already that Shulchan That's the only part I'm going to repeat. Equal 388 equals, can I get each leg of the shulchan? Yud, hey, well, I have it here. The four legs of the shulchan, Yud, hey, vav, hey, which equals to behema, shembein, to Adam. We are miled and it's from behema to Adam, and they go up on the four sides. This equals to 97, these two names. 97 times 4 equals 388, equals shulchan. And when the shulchan goes before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this is Zei HaShulchan, 405, Yud Ke Vav Ke Tiferes, Shin Dalet Yud Yesod, Yichud with the Malchus. That's the Vav that we have with the Hey, because the Vav is long. It's not only a Yud, it's not only a Midah. So it's the Tiferes Yesod. That's the Yichud we do on the Shulchan. Lifnei Hashem, I'm going to explain it to you a bit differently, which I believe I've done it already. If you take the word Malchus, but we're going to write it in complete. Mem, Lamed, Vav, Vav, So. But I'm only going to calculate the inner part. I want to know what it's made of. So I'm only going to give the number of the letters in red. And this equals to 196. The pnimius of the Malchus is Yamsuf, it's Dinim. But it's also Lifnei Hashem. Look at what we have here. We said, Zei HaShulchan in Yecheskel, Zei HaShulchan asher Lifnei Hashem. What it means the Shulchan is before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You go, when you do these kavanas and you bring up your shulchan and you bring up the nitzoitzes and you complete the malchus, the pnimius of the malchus, you are before Hashem because this is equals lifnei yud kei vav kei. And every Jew we have, nobody's perfect. So every time there is dinim on the malchus against us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will remove them, and the malchus itself will do that. Yam Suf equals Yad time Yad. Those who learn with me on the Oitzaras Chaim, you know that how we create oil. Oil, it's only a hakar. So when Reb Chanina said in Zohar Rus that with Birkas HaMazon, you getting the person draws on my say the bracha on my seyada because he creates an oil by bimesaken the malchus. The whole purpose of the shulchan is to bring up nitzoitzes, to complete Knesset Yisrael, and therefore it's not enough that you have a little bit of intention. The entire meal should be like this, because at every moment you're facing with new nitzoitzes, new food, new nitzoitzes that our mission is to bring up. In other words, look how the worlds are created. Over there, up there, they can do nothing. They cannot transform or remove the psoiles from the pri, the klipa from the pri. They cannot separate them. However, us, by ingesting food, the intention is before ingesting food, make a bracha. So what's ingested, automatically the bracha will separate what's good from what's bad. And the Zohar says, prevents the bad from harming the person. And the Nitzos will be free. We're the only one that can make these miracles. The Olamis, the Malachim, look at us as miracle workers. Every Bnei Yisrael can do tremendous in terms of achievements with that. However, once you remove the lamed, the person is in nachash, completely in nachash. He becomes a chefza. His brachas that he's going to say, I'm going to go to the wrong side, and they're going to give shefa to the sitra Rahman al-Islam. Very quickly, because I see time flying, just that possible. Yechezkel says it in singular. Ze shulchan. Yeshaya says it in plural. Shulchanos. What are you trying to hint us here? Why don't you talk about that person, the is misbehaving, so talk about his shulchan. Tell us what's on his shulchan. We don't need to know kol shulchanos. Well, what shulchanos? Why plural? There are 4 legs. There are 4 meters. The first 4 roim are getting the shefa from a person. Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Yosef. They come to visit a person when he eats. So there. Especially on Yom Tov. Shulchanos equals 794. Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Yosef, exactly. To tell us that when a person is not behaving properly on his table and he has the nachash, he lost the schus of the full roy. Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Yosef. He's like, is he a Bnei Yisrael? Technically, no. With that said, I want to explain the pasuk, the first questions we have asked here. I'm going to isolate this psukim, so just a little bit. We asked a question. Eretz chitos oira. Basically, the pasuk tells us it's got to be plentiful. So what's the point of telling us that there will not be misery for bread? It's evident. And why, if you're saying you're not going to miss anything, why do you mention bread? Because this is included in everything. So why mentioning that at all? The pasuk here has a different intention. Because if we take these 2 words that really bothered us, and on which we ask, where is the vav? Loi b'miskenus equals 603. Equals noitzer chesed lo alafim, which is the mazala ilah of Bnei Yisrael, and by the way, equals Bnei Yisrael. So we're really talking about everybody. We're not talking about rich and poor. We're talking about the whole class. Lo b'miskenus, meaning you are going to be not because the mazala ilah of Bnei Yisrael is not chesed la'alofim. The mazala tasar, the low one, is venake, which is the last midah. Says the pasuk, in Eretz Yisrael, you're going to be able to draw the shefa from the mazala ilah. So what he means from the mazala ilah, okay, so let's analyze these words. Teichalba equals 458 equals exactly the descent through all the shemes all the way down. Yud K in the Keser. Yud K Vav K. You know the shemes already by now. Aleph Hey Yud Hey. Then we go to the Das. Aleph Hey Vav Hey. Then we go to the Yisod. Shin Dalet Yud. Then we go to the Malchus. Aleph Dalet Nun Yud. That's how the shefa comes down. All these shemis like the shbuch who come down and bring the shefa. What do you do? Loi b'miskus. Drawing it from Neitzer Chesed Lo Alofim, all the way there. And why lechem was mentioned, was pointed out, no other thing, because lechem, equals 78. Equals 3 times Yud Kei Vav Kei. We say prior to the Yud Gimel Midas Derachim, Hashem, Kel Rachum Vechanun. Kel starts the Midas Derachim. But then we mentioned 2 Hashem above here. Says Daria Kodesh, there's another one in the Das in the back. So it's 3 times Hashem. What is the pasuk telling me now? After we uncovered that, it tells me that when you make a Bechas HaMazon properly, when you say it properly, the names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the 3 Yud Kei Vav Kei will fill up the Mazala Ilah, and from the Mazala Ilah, the Shemes Yud Kei Vav Kei, etc., will draw and bring on you all the Bracha Ilah. That's how the Bechas HaMazon is working. And in that case, what it means, Lo Yisechsa Kolba, since now we explain this like that, meaning that has nothing to do with telling us about misery or anything. It's the poverty in Ruchnius. We're not talking this equals to 756 equals Shakai twice. Eretz Elyoina in the Mazala Ilah, in the Mazala Tasa, the Yesod and the Malchus are in Yechud. Now, this is huge. You can miss nothing because you have accomplished the Zivug HaKodesh, because you have put the Yesod, you have elevated the Malchus and the Kudsha Berichu Shchinte all the way up. Like on Shabbos, when they go in Rabbi the Rabbin, they go up to Arichampin. With Bechas HaMazon, that's what you have it. At that point, they have a hakaras hatoiv to you that you can't even imagine. It's huge, the hakaras hatoiv they have. It's huge what they want to do for you. In other words, and I'm finishing on this, the Zohar says, from the Mazala Ilah comes down, Bnei Chaye Mezoin. As the Gemara said, and we spoke enough about this, Bnei Chaye Mezoin b'mazalot hadya. They depend on the mazal. Which mazal? Noitzer chesed la'ala. When I say Birkas HaMazon, this fills up the be'er, which equals 203, which equal Bnei Chaye Mezoin. This is how the Shefa is coming. This is how a person can go on. So Birkas HaMazon brings you on future the Parnasa. So now we understand how on Shabbos the Chalois have the bracha from the Malchus. Because the Malchus through the benching and the Sudas on Shabbos, there's another side in there. I don't want to tell you only half. I'm going to send you that one, Luneda, for Shabbos. And whoever wants it, just let me know. I'll be happy to send it. So this Birkas HaMazon, you will get part of the bracha, and part of the bracha is going into the chalish to keep it for you for the whole entire week. Bרכת le'olam amen v'amen. We shall be zoichen, and all Bnei Yisrael to say the brachas as it's karoi and sent to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and draw the Yeshua and draw the Geula Shlema b'mera b'yameinu. Amen.